Hey there. We talk a lot about hitting the gym or eating right for our bodies, but what about our minds? Today, we're going to look at some super simple but really powerful ways to boost your mental wellness. It's just as important and honestly, way easier than you might think.
So let's just pause and think about this for a second. We make time for workouts, we plan our meals, but are we putting that same kind of intentional care into our mental health? It's a pretty interesting question to kick things off with, right?
And this really gets to the heart of it. Taking care of your mind isn't just about avoiding feeling bad. It's about actively feeling good. When your head's in a good space, everything else just feels a little more manageable. And the good moments in life, they feel even better. It's the foundation for everything, really. Okay, so let's dive into a fantastic way to think about this. Don't think of this as a list of strict rules you have to follow. Think of it more like a simple toolkit, 5 reliable paths you can turn to anytime you need to give your mind a little boost. So here's a quick look at where we're headed. We're going to talk about spending time outside, the power of just talking to someone, moving our bodies, getting enough sleep, and finally, making time for things we actually enjoy. 5 super clear, doable steps. First up, spending time outside. I mean, this is probably one of the easiest tools we have, and there's a real reason it feels so good to get some fresh air. Being in nature actually lowers cortisol. That's our body's main stress hormone. It's like an instant calm button. So how long are we talking? Do you need to go on an all-day hike? Nope. The magic number is 20. Research shows that just 20 minutes outside is enough to give your mood a serious lift. That's it. That's less time than your lunch break. And look, this doesn't have to be some grand adventure. As you can see, it can be as simple as a quick walk in a local park, just sitting under a tree for a bit, or even just closing your eyes and listening to the birds. It's all about that simple connection. All right, let's move on to our second path. Talk to someone. It is so easy to let worries just build up and swirl around in our heads, but keeping them locked inside, well, that usually just makes them feel way bigger and scarier than they actually are. At its core, talking about what's on your mind helps you feel less alone. The moment you share something, that feeling of isolation just starts to break apart. Knowing that someone else is hearing you, that they get it, well, that feeling of being all by yourself with your problems starts to fade. And listen, you don't need to have a therapist on speed dial for this to work. It can be anyone you trust, a good friend, someone in your family, maybe even a neighbor you get along with. It's the act of sharing that really does the heavy lifting here. Okay, on to our third path. Move your body. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Exercise. And that word can feel like a lot of pressure, like you're supposed to go run a marathon or something. But let's just redefine that for a second. Exactly. In this context, exercise just means movement. That's it. Any kind of activity that gets you going helps melt away stress and releases those endorphins, the brain's natural feel-good chemicals. And it's supposed to be fun. Seriously. Put on your favorite song and just dance around your kitchen. Do a few simple stretches when you wake up. Take a casual bike ride around the block. The goal here isn't to break a world record, it's just to feel good. Our fourth path is a huge one, getting enough sleep. This is not a luxury, people. It's a necessity. Sleep is when your brain actually gets to work sorting through the day, repairing itself, and hitting that big reset button. So the rules are pretty simple. You want to aim for about 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night, and consistency, oh, that's a game changer. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time. And here's the big one we're all guilty of. Try to avoid screens right before you sleep. That blue light really does mess with your brain's ability to power down. And now for our final path. This one is so important, but it's often the first thing to go when we get busy. Do something you genuinely enjoy. We get so caught up in our to-do lists that we forget to make time for hobbies that are just for us, just for fun. And this can be anything. Maybe it's getting lost in a good book, sketching in a notebook, trying out a new recipe, or playing an instrument. Think of these activities as charging stations for your brain. They're how we recharge and reconnect with ourselves. So, we've just walked through 5 different paths. Now, let's tie it all together, because the real secret here is understanding the power of small changes. I really want you to let this one sink in. You do not have to completely overhaul your life overnight. The real power is in the small, consistent things you do. That one short walk, that one conversation, getting to bed a little earlier. They all add up, and they make a huge difference over time. And above all, just be kind to yourself. Some days are going to be easier than others, and that is perfectly okay. The goal here isn't perfection. It's just about being mindful and making a small effort to care for your mind every day, just like you would for your body. So that brings us to the last question, and this one's just for you. Looking at these 5 paths, which one feels doable for you right now? Which small change are you going to make today to invest in yourself? That's always a great place to start.